Hi, I'm Jared with Otis Technology, and this is Greg. And today we're here to talk about the POF Tombstone, modern lever action rifle in 9mm.
Exciting.
At Otis, we try to bring in the newest guns so that we're able to help our customers if they have any questions. So anything that's unique or new to the market, we try to get it in and have as many people as we can handle it. So if we have questions, we are able to field them, and we can come up with new products to suit the needs of the rifle. So with the POF Tombstone, it's unique in that it was the first, as far as I know, 9mm lever. The reason we got this gun is we got in some rifles from Henry, and Greg come blasting through the door into the marketing office, and he's like, I hear we got a 9mm Henry. And I'm like, yeah, it's semi-auto. It's the Homesteader, which is still a cool gun, but it's not a lever. So I got on the Googles and I found the Tombstone, and I'm like, we got to get this thing in. So we're a year later now. We have the Tombstone, and we're going to run it, and we're going to tell you what we think of it.
That's exciting. That's some zombie shit right there.
Yep. All right, we got the Patriot Ordnance Factory Tombstone here. Greg, you want to handle that a bit? No mag in the gun, the chamber is empty. We're going to run a few mags through this thing and tell you what we think of it. I'd like to thank True Shot Ammo for providing the ammunition for today's video shoot. This is Norma range and training ammo. It is frangible, making it a little bit safer for us to be shooting steel at close range.
That's badass.
Yeah, it's cool.
That is. The only thing I noticed is once in a while that round does not want to go in, but I also, these frangibles have a real blunt nose. And if you look at that ramp, the feed ramp, unlike a normal pistol where it, you know, gradually comes off the slide, that's kind of like an open chamber, kind of like an AR.
Yeah. There's no,
so
actually,
I think
there's not even really a ramp. The ramp.
No, so I think that's what's happening.
It's literally driving it straight in.
Now they give you the angle on that mag. If you look at how that sits in there, they give you the angle.
It is angled up, weird. Okay.
Yep. But I still think we're getting a little bit of interference on that blunt nose.
All right.
So now that we've had a chance to go to the range, we'll kind of go over some of the features and benefits that we saw, and then we'll kind of get into what our initial reaction is and what we noticed while shooting it. You know, right off the bat, when you brought it out and, you know, handed it to me, it looked like it was going to be a heavy rifle. You know, I've played a lot of lever actions growing up, and you know, like the Marlin 336 and stuff, beautiful guns, but they're heavy. You know, that wood stock, it's a heavy wood. This being all aluminum, you know, with the plastic stock here from Magpul, it was a lot lighter than I thought.
Yeah, it weighs in at 5.75 pounds, which is very light for lever action.
And I would say it's balanced perfectly because it doesn't even feel like 5.75 pounds. It feels lighter.
I think I tried balancing this on one finger and it worked pretty well, actually.
So you have a free float rail. You got your Picatinny mount in this top. Then you got your M-LOKs here at 3, 6, and 9.
Yeah, plenty of spots for accessories on this thing. I like that they've included the pick rail on the bottom here, the short sections, so you could add bipod if you wanted, or maybe a light or something to that effect. But it's outfitted with just enough accessory points on this skeletonized modular rail system they've developed to give it, you know, just usability minus C-grip. You can't quite get C-grip on there because you're gonna burn your little mittens.
Yeah, you're right. Obviously, you added an optic to this for the shooting.
Sealy bowl. We just wanted to have something to make sure we stayed on steel. And
I noticed it's got a compensator on the end. So what's nice about that, you can pull that off. I think it's a 1.5 by 28 thread, so you could add a suppressor to it for that purpose. You have your mag release, which just like any other AR, you got your safety.
Yeah, the safety is a little different than AR function, so it's the ability to cross bolt on the hammer. I believe that's correct. Yeah, it is an AR-15 style magazine release. That is the only, I would say, shared component with an AR style rifle on this thing. Everything else is really custom, minus the SGA stock from Magpul on the back end here that's intended for use on shotguns, and they've built the gun to accept it, which is pretty cool. Trigger on this thing, what'd you think of it?
I thought it was very crisp, no creak.
Yeah, yeah, no creep. They say it's 3.5 pounds. We didn't put a scale on it or anything, but it was crisp. It is not adjustable, so anybody that's considering getting this rifle, take that into consideration if you like tinkering with triggers. It is proprietary and non-adjustable, so just a fact you need to know. Over on this side here, it has an ambidextrous magazine release, so you can release the mag from this side or with your AR style magazine release button.
The one thing I noticed on this rifle right off the bat was that is a healthy barrel. But, you know, as we can see, it's been fluted, so they're going to rid of a lot of that weight. I'm not sure what length barrel they're running here. Is it 16?
I think it's 16.
It's a 1 in 10 twist. I don't know the material.
It's a 4150 steel.
4150 steel. And that way, you know, it's going to...
Oh, yeah. They do come with proprietary mags. They are standard 20-round capacity. These in my hand are actually blocked to 10 for New York State, and that's why we didn't have as much fun at the range as everybody else in this country.
So it is a proprietary mag. You're not going to run a Glock mag or anything else in it.
Right. The only other thing they fit is the POF Phoenix, which we will have on the channel in a couple of weeks here.
Interesting right off the bat, it is a curved mag with a straight
entry,
straight wall cartridge.
Oh, yeah, straight wall cartridge.
So that is interesting, and we'll get into that after we talk more about, you know, shooting at the range. So now that we've kind of hit on the, you know, the features and specs on the rifle, you know, what is just your first thought getting to the range and then when you started shooting it? Like, what are your thoughts?
Well, you mentioned well balanced, and I really felt like it was well weighted and helped me get back on target. Although it's light, there wasn't a lot of recoil, so it allowed us to stay on target very easily. And what really kind of surprised me, which it shouldn't have, but being 9mm, the throw was super short. So yeah. It's not like your 45-70 where you're racking all the way to the front and you almost can't reach with my T-Rex arms I got here. But with this thing, you're just barely moving it to be able to cycle around. It is also really not too forgiving on your hands. So if you're going to run a lot of rounds, be the range a long time, I'd actually recommend wearing gloves. And I almost never wear gloves unless it's cold. But this one is a little tough on the...
You're right. There is some pretty sharp cuts on here, and it is pretty narrow.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, you know, traditional 30-30s kind of have that rounded edge and they kind of contour.
But yeah, for me, it shot well. We talked about trigger earlier, but that trigger being a 3.5 and a really crisp pull, and it being well balanced and it being low recoil really helped us stay on target. And I think as far as like usability, what would you use this gun for?
You know, ARs. I've had a lot of ARs, and ARs are ARs. I like lever guns. I've always liked those kids from the, you know, watching the old Wild West. You know, you look at some of these lever guns, they're just a fun gun to shoot. They're a fun action, and it just brings you back to your childhood. I like this because it's kind of like a, you know, it's newer technology. It is not heavy. Again, like I said, it's a lightweight. I like it for that reason. I think it would be a fun plinking gun.
Yeah.
You know, you shoot a lot of 9mm pistols, and, you know, you shoot SIGs, you shoot Glocks, you shoot. This is something different. It's fun to shoot. It's inexpensive to shoot.
Yeah, you're bound to have something on hand, and if you don't, it's readily available.
Yeah, it might be fun to shoot, you know, small game with. You know, you get the right plus P round and something, you maybe even shoot a bigger game.
Yeah, I think it's a cool ranch gun. I can see this thing being in movies, and if they ever do like a Aliens versus Wild Wild West or something, this belongs in it. It's just retro cool, but also has this modern aggressive styling that I really like. Yeah. If I owned this, it would probably be, you know, a showpiece. It'd be one of the first things people saw if they looked at my gun cabinet, because I want, you know, the attention that this would bring. And I think it's really cool. I wouldn't use it for home defense personally. mostly because of just we had some of the feeding issues, and I need something that's definitely going to be reliable.
With the feeding issues, though, the only thing I'll say is it's a fairly new firearm. And you know how it is in this market. This may be a demo gun that got sent out from the first batch that was ever built.
Yeah.
They could be building it. POF, I toured their factory probably 15 years ago. Got a personal tour of the factory. Their workmanship was outstanding. Their rifles, their 7.62 gas gun, that thing was, a beautiful gun. They got a good reputation.
Yeah,
I think this is
well known for their AR-15s, and they are based right in Phoenix, Arizona. If you're not familiar, made in the United States, just like Otis.
Yep. Beautiful company, quality products. This one, again, it might be the mag. It could be something to do. This could be a first generation. I don't know.
It still wouldn't be my first choice for home defense, even though they advertise it as a second. There's other options, 12 gauge, 20 gauge, anything that holds a lot of rounds that are going to either put a big hole or not pass through your walls. That I would choose prior to choosing this. So yeah, I love it, the idea for plinking. It's extremely unique.
It is. It's one of a kind.
I think that's one of the things that commands that price is no other gun shares anything with this minus the stock and maybe the pick rail configurations. But
the only thing that would have been nice today if we would have had a wider variety of ammunition.
Right. Yeah. We had what we had, and it would have been fun to test additional ammos. I did get to run this about 300 to 500 rounds of hand loads. Had similar issues. They were round nose, full metal jacket.
Okay.
Similar. I wanted to break this thing in so that we had a gun that I knew was broken because I've watched other videos on it, and it needed to be broke in.
Gotcha.
To operate. This one was what I believe new out of the box. It had stickers on it and everything, so I don't think it's been passed around too much. But it is fun as heck to shoot, and affordable to shoot as well. So that's kind of fun.
I'll give you one quick funny story real quick. I bought a new pistol when it first came out a few years ago, and every time I pull that trigger, the shell would hit me right between the eyes.
I have one.
And I called the manufacturer, and they said, let it put around 500 rounds through it. And I said, that's going to be a painful 500 rounds. But after probably a couple hundred rounds, it started shooting normal, and it broke itself in. But when I first got it, I thought, this is not going to be a fun.
What happened with a recent Gen 3 Glock clone I was shooting that was doing the shells to the top of the head, and that's different. It's getting rained on.
But all in all, fun gun, unique design. Couple bugs in it. Once those are worked out, I think it'll be an outstanding firearm.
Yeah, inside this gun, we haven't gotten into cleaning it yet. If you're interested in how to clean this gun, we are going to leave a link in the description and in the pinned comment to a video walking you through every step of the cleaning, including disassembly of this thing. We're not going to disassemble it today, but inside these side plates that are on both sides of this gun, there is a linkage system. It's very different than what you'd find in a Henry that operates this gun. And another thing where you notice is it's a very limited breech. So Otis, we are preaching breech to muzzle all the time. And this chamber is so small that our brushes don't fit on a pull through. So one of the ways you can clean this, if you're not going to fully disassemble it, is to back feed your cable and thread it on in the chamber to pull your brush and your patch through the gun. You could use solid rod cleaning. Then you'd have to be feeding from the front, and we don't recommend that here at Otis. Other than that, exterior cleaning on this would be fairly simple. There's plenty of places for dust to get inside here, but nothing that would affect function. That's about everything we can say about the cosmetics and the operation of this gun. We had a lot of fun shooting this today. If you viewers at home have any questions about the POF Tombstone, please leave them in the comments below. If you found this video interesting, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you, POF, for sending us the Tombstone to test and tune and clean. We appreciate it.